Hey guys, it's MC Fixit here. We got a 4th generation CRV 2-wheel drive. We're going to be replacing the Serpentine belt right here. I'm going to walk you through all the tools, the supplies, and how you can do this yourself in just a few minutes. Here are the tools and the supplies that I used. I used a Gates K070565 V-belt or Serpentine belt. We used a wrench with an extension with a 10 millimeter. I had another wrench that I used just because this one gives you some different angles, but you can get away with just a basic one. We used a 17 millimeter on a kind of breaker bar, but this is a tool specifically designed for removing serpentine belts. And if you're getting stuck, you might need some kind of like pry bar or something like that to push your belt in, especially over the crankshaft. But those are all the tools and the supplies I used for this video. So we're going to start the vehicle to show you why we are changing out these parts. Go ahead and start it up. So we'll go ahead and replace the serpentine belt. The serpentine belt is a little tricky to get to, but I'll show you exactly with some diagrams on the screen of what I'm doing because you just can't get good camera angles. And so I will walk you through verbally and show you, but you're going to want to look at the images as well. First thing to do is go ahead and remove this reservoir. It pulls straight up. It has this little plastic tab here. I'm going to go ahead and remove that coolant reservoir and place it on the other side of the exhaust manifold. Do be careful if your car is hot. Don't put it there because it can melt it. Next thing we need to do is go ahead and remove the bracket here. So we're going to go ahead and grab a 10 millimeter with an extension. And we need to take off one bolt and loosen the other one. So take off the first bolt and put it in a safe location. And then we need to just loosen the other bolt. And just move the bracket over. So once you've moved that out, you can go ahead and push this over, and that will allow you to have better access to everything down here. So we're going to go ahead and use a 17 millimeter. This is a serpentine belt loosening tool. And we'll go ahead and put that on over. And then go ahead and pull it towards the front, and that will allow you to remove the serpentine belt, and it will naturally go back towards the left. Now sometimes this can be hard to get off because it's so tight here, so I find if you go down closest to the bolt, it will just kind of pop off. So you can go ahead and pull that off and then get your 17 millimeter off. So you can go ahead and pull out your serpentine belt. However, it will want to come out. And right there, it just came out. So here is the old belt. It is not in terrible shape, but it has probably 50 or 60,000 miles on it. And so we will want to go ahead and replace it. And the new belt is the same length. So that is what you want to see. Same thickness as well. And same amount of grooves. This is the old one. That is the new one. You may want to save your old belt in case you ever have a serpentine belt break. Very unlikely today, but it is good to have a backup. Sometimes people put that in their vehicle. So we need to go ahead and put this belt on. And the easiest thing to do is go ahead and go down to the crankshaft, which is down under here, and then go to the AC compressor, which is down here. And this belt naturally has a loop in it. And so we're going to try to shove it down there and put this on. Sometimes you do have to take off your wheel to get access to an access panel, which will allow you to be able to see it a little bit better. But I've always been able to get these on. It is a little bit more work, but then you don't have to take off a tire. So let's go ahead and feed this down in here. And I'm going to work on the crankshaft. Again, this is going to be very hard to see, but you will get an illustrated picture on the screen right now that will show you kind of what I am doing. And so I'm just reaching my hand down and pushing it around that crankshaft pulley, making sure it is lined up in the center. I think this is the hardest one to get on, especially if you have long, large hands. I almost got it there. The other thing you can do is use kind of a long tool like this. This is for prying, but it just kind of helps push it down and get it around where it needs to go. So we're going to go ahead and put that around the crankshaft, getting it seated properly. And then with my right hand, I normally kind of keep tension on the belt right here the whole time. Also helps if you have another person that can hold this as well. It just helps make sure it stays on, especially that crankshaft down there, which is the hardest one to put it on. Next thing, we're going to go to the AC, which is right down at the very bottom here. And I'm going to have somebody hold this while I'm doing it. So make sure, give me some release, but give it tension, if that makes sense. A little looser. So now it is around the crankshaft back there, and it is around the AC. The next thing we're going to need to do is to get it around the water pump. So you have to come up. Oh. So while applying pressure, you got to kind of loosen it up as well, which is sometimes a little difficult, but you got to get it around your water pump. And it has to go on the bottom side of the water pump while being on that crankshaft. This is where you got to kind of wiggle it around and get it to go down in there. So that just put it on the bottom of the water pump. And now you can see it's on top of the alternator here. As you let the belt sit from the other hand, it should fall on the alternator. So once you have it on the crankshaft, the AC, and the water pump, you're going to go ahead and put your tool on. Remember, this is that 17 millimeter. And you're going to quickly pull this thing up and get it around. Make sure to get the belt lined up properly inside the tension groove so it fits perfect. And so I pulled and pushed this under to where it's around there, and then slowly release back, and your tensioner should catch it. And it did it right there. So we're going to go ahead and start up the vehicle to test to see what it sounds like. Okay, you can stop it. So we're going to go ahead and put this piece back now that your belt is on and it is good. So to put this back, so we'll go ahead and line that back up with the bolt and the extension and just start it by hand. Go ahead and grab your ratchet and tighten down. It does not have to be super tight because it's just holding a plastic reservoir, but you do not want it to come off. So go ahead and put that down hand tight, and that is done. So we'll go ahead and put the reservoir. This will click down into place here. You're not going to hear it very much just because it's plastic on metal, but you should feel it right there. It clicked into place. And then you have a couple of areas here that need to go back in, and that part is done. You can go ahead and clean up your work area and be it back on the road. Thank you so much for watching this Serpentine belt replacement on a Honda CRV 4-cylinder engine, 2012 to 2016. If you are interested in links for either the tools or supplies, I do have those listed down below in the description and the comment section, and you can click on those links and order these parts yourself. This video was helpful. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to add any comments, please put those down in the comment section down below, and I'll try to answer those as soon as possible. If you've not done so yet, make sure to subscribe. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.